What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Slate Starter podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down Friday's 9-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings, FanDuel, and our sponsor, Yahoo. We're in the middle of a wild slate. I'm going to let Ryan tell you what he did here today because he did something that is not for the faint of heart. That is for damn sure, and I know why he did it. I don't know if it's going to work out here at the moment. We're going to find out, but Ryan, how's your night going?
Yeah, I played a lot of Darren Sharp, and it's not going to work out. It's just not. And that's
the thing that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, I think if you played Darren Sharp, you really set yourself back tonight, and I played way too much of him, so it's not going to work out. Now, on the main slates on DraftKings and FanDuel in these long shot tournaments, I chose to not play James Harden. For me, I just thought I could just get away from him and play the other studs and go for a much different roster build. Obviously, I'm willing to take risks like that. I'm notoriously known to do shit like that, and it still might work out for me. So I can't really complain. I really like the guards today. I also loved Harden. But I just didn't want to hold hands with 75% of the field. So that's how I felt.
I understand totally where you're coming from. I have 100% of him, 100% of Dennis Smith Jr. I kind of did the exact opposite thing and held hands with everybody. It speaks a little bit more. I was in the back of my head on Live Before Lock talking about it, thinking about what you said a couple of days ago, where you love slates, where you just jam some of the super value in. And I was like, well, if 30% of the field doesn't play Harden, which is, about all that we got, that's 30% of the field that you can maybe have drawing dead before it even starts, and you try to figure out the other roster spots. But I will say this. I'm pretty happy that we both took the extreme approaches rather than holding hands. If you played 50% Harden today, double check your process. Is that probably the right way of putting it? Or no? You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I mean, there's
make your stands elsewhere. You
don't need
do
to be
something
one
different.
way or the other. There was a lot of I had tested a lot of things out, what builds look like with and without him. A lot of people who have Harden probably have Sharp, and a lot of the similar players where your lineup really gets very poor fast if you played the same value, which a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. And I really like the other studs on the slate as well. I think they were both in great spots. Giannis did his thing in 20 plus minutes, and Jokic I think will do his thing potentially. So no, for me it's a risk tolerance play. I'm okay with losing, and I probably will lose more than I win. But when I do win, hopefully it's big where I can sustain these losses over time. But it's I do think mathematically, if I was just playing one lineup, I still probably would fade Harden on tonight's slate just because I was trying to win. And I didn't think necessarily if there was only Jokic on the slate and not Giannis, I would have changed my mind. There's also great studs in Cat, low on studs like Jaren Jackson, where it really helped things out. And the Brooklyn value was good. It's been good. Outside of Bruce Brown, it's not been crazy good. So we'll see what ends up happening at the end of the night.
Yeah, Thunder just went on another little mini run after Brooklyn had cut it to 8 points. They're now up 15. So you might get Harden. If they can get it to 20 here pretty quick, you could get Harden off the floor. 62.9 here for Harden at the moment. 10K on FanDuel, probably need him. 10.7 DK, probably not. And Yahoo, $49 there for him. He was really, I thought out of any site, Yahoo was maybe the most difficult because you have Dennis Smith down there, like I believe $11, $12. $49 was a discount off of Giannis, off of Jokic to play Harden. It felt like you were just kind of forced into that. And again, Yahoo has the best pricing period, but definitely different puzzles to solve. That's why you need to be playing multiple sites, like my friend Rayen Patnaik over there, who's just, again, ballsy as all hell is probably the right way of saying it. I'm proud of you for making such a play. It wasn't something to be like, what a fish, or be results based. It's more of like, for me, I think we're both of the minds where you're trying to win tournaments and you try to solve the puzzle. And I think we went about trying to solve it a little bit differently. I played a lot of Jaren Jackson Jr. He put up 43.5 on FanDuel. So if that can end up working out for me, but just so many things that happen over the course of an NBA slate, a 5-gamer here where you better hope Brooklyn value can still get there here in the next 6 minutes, because nobody is there if you'd ended up taking my approach with that. But we want you to take the approach of hitting the like button, subscribe button, notification bell, 5-star reviews over on the Apple Store, over on Spotify. Again, I'm 34. I have no idea. I'm not one of the cool young age kids like Rinpack. Did I say that right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah, look at that. See, I know things. I'm with it. I'm hip. You're not going to get that one. Let's go to the top of guard on DraftKings. We've got 9 games to cover. You ready to get going, my buddy?
Let's ride.
Look at that. He's back to saying let's ride. Just took one day off from it. So feisty. Luka Doncic 10-9. Steph Curry 10-6. Can we just talk quick? Golden State sucked today. Oh, yeah, there we go. We're done talking about it. Trae Young 10-4. DeJounte Murray 10-2. Fred VanVleet 10K. John Morant 9,200. I will say, as we move down the positions, we got word that Gary Payton II is going to be out already. So that came out very quickly after that game was over. It was like, hey, we tried to get him to be a thing today. He's not going to be a thing tomorrow. So there you go. Saddle up, partner. Might get something, some sort of value that exists there. We'll see if Steph, Clay both play on the back-to-back here. I'd assume
Clay
so because
Clay's not playing.
Clay won't play. So then you're looking at Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's a guy that I'm going to probably have some interest in. Maybe a Damian Lee 3,400 all the way on the bottom end, but that's going to be previewing that a little bit. John Moran on the back-to-back here, 9,200 going up against Dallas. Again, Luka up there at 10-9. That's going to be a guy I definitely have interest in here. LaMelo Ball, 8,900. We've got a lot of guards here on this 9-gamer to be talking about. We have a very strange slate where there's 4 games that lock at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you're losing almost half the slate before it even begins. That's kind of nuts and going to make late swap still less of a thing. But I mean, it's still going to be a thing because let's be serious. You've got Houston, Sacramento, Dallas, Memphis in that late night hammer. That'll be fun. Talk to me about the guard position on DraftKings.
Yeah, I like going to obviously spending up for Steph Curry and or Luka Doncic, the respective matchups. I think Luka taking on a Memphis team on a back-to-back. We haven't seen the super ceiling game, and getting low on Luka is very exciting. I think you can definitely target him. I think Steph Curry with no Clay. I do think he did light up the Chicago team earlier in the season. So I like going to Steph Curry at 10-6. I think he'll be also low just because of recent play. DeJounte Murray in a tough matchup against Cleveland. I think I hop off now. I think I would rather save the 1,000 and go to John Moran, save the 1,300 and go to LaMelo Ball. Both project very similar to me. I would take the savings. The guy we didn't touch on is VanVleet. Against the Detroit matchup, VanVleet has 60-point upside. Detroit does not scare him whatsoever, as it shouldn't. Detroit's awful, and VanVleet should be able to light them up. Now, spending down a little bit, Jordan Poole, 5K, I do think is going to be very popular, rightfully so. No Clay, no Gary Payton, could play 30-plus minutes in a Chicago matchup where I do think he'll get the usage going and things put together. With the lack of those 2 guards there, his teammate Damian Lee also sticks out, $3,400. No issues going to him as well. Another piece of value scrolling down. I do think Isaac Okoro is set to return. Cleveland has been playing with the shorthanded backcourt. I do expect him to take away a lot of Lamar Stevens minutes at 3,500. It's Isaac Okoro. I'm just saying that he's returning. He's cheap. Another guy who's also returning is Jalen Suggs. He's 4,800. He was playing a lot of minutes earlier in the year. I don't know what the minutes are going to look like, him coming back from an extended draft and injury. So buyer beware.
Buyer beware. James Harden's off the floor, 62.9 on FanDuel. I think you're going to be in good shape. Man, from 15 minutes ago when we started talking about this until now, you have aged well, my friend. They are done. Thunder up 19. Day'Ron Sharpe just entered the game for Kessler Edwards. I hate that because I need both of them on the floor.
How many minutes are left in that game?
There's 3 minutes, 47 seconds. So at least Day'Ron Sharpe. Can he get 20 fantasy points in 4.5 minutes?
Yeah, he can
dealer.
do it. He's a big. I would love for him to do it, but that's asking for a lot.
We need him to do the tip drill to himself. Can we get it one time? Day'Ron Sharpe, do Day'Ron Sharpe. All right, heading over to FanDuel, top end of guard. Steph Curry, 11K off of this disaster today. Luka Doncic, 10-5. DeJounte Murray, 10-3. He's going to be very popular, as he should be. Cleveland defense is always kind of a thing now, but like legitimately, this is DeJounte Murray We'll see. Derek White questionable to be playing in that game. That's a big piece of news because I will not be playing a chalky 10-3 DeJounte Murray if Derek White is back. That is just a fact what I will be doing. Trae Young, 9,900. Fred VanVleet, 9,700. John Morant, same number. FanDuel seems to have aggressively priced up a few of these guards here, which is kind of nice to see. But Chris Paul and LaMelo Ball remain super cheap, as does De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton. They're still 7,800 apiece. Play Fox. Terry Rozier, 7,700. But my boy, Cole Anthony, 7,600. I was getting hate. I trust me, I see everything on Twitter. You can't get anything by me. 2 people tweeted at me saying, nice Cole Anthony call, Eric, on Live Before Lock, when he had like 4 fantasy points through a quarter and a half. Finished with 44.7. You know what happened to those tweets? They disappeared. But not really, because I screenshotted them. Talk about the top end of guard over here on FanDuel, Ryan.
If you guys don't know by now, chat trolls and Twitter trolls keep Eric up at night. I think spending up for Luka is fine, 10-5. Steph Curry's going to be hard to get in at 11K, but I do think he's an exceptional tournament play. Spending down to VanVleet and John Morant have obviously tournament winning upside, but I do think I've circled in LaMelo Ball yet again for the 3rd straight night when he's playing 8K LaMelo Ball versus Orlando. I will be going to him yet again. I've been very disappointed by him the last couple nights, but I think he's too cheap, and I think he'll be turning things around. He needs to make a strong last push to get that All-Star bid, and I like going to LaMelo Ball at 8K. Jimmy Butler, I believe, is still questionable. We'll see if he plays, if he does play, if he doesn't play. Now, if he doesn't play, Kyle Lowry, 7,200. We can go Tyler Hero, 7,300 as well. No issues to one of those guys. Cheap guys, Jordan Poole here is 5,100. $100 pivot off of him is Gary Trent, the Detroit matchup. Keep in mind, he's good, I believe, still questionable, so that can change things for you. Gordon Hayward, 6,500, coming off a 50 spot the last time out he was playing. I don't mind it. It's against Orlando. The shot volume should be there. Pace is always there with Charlotte. Another guy who I've been chasing and it just hasn't worked out for me is Kevin Porter Jr., 5,700. He's fine. I think it's a Sacramento matchup where things can definitely go his way. He just needs to just focus more on the court, it seems like. And I don't expect Eric Gordon not to miss a shot next time out. Cade Cunningham, 6K. Wow. Here we are with Cade again. In a matchup versus Toronto, that's not too worrisome. The price tag, 6K. The ownership's going to be there. People are going to love it. Projections are going to love him. He's going to be very popular at 6K, and I think rightfully so, just because the upside is there for him. Now, it's Cade Cunningham and Jordan Poole definitely standing out, point guard, shooting guard for both of those guys.
Yeah, 6K is so dumb. It's a really, really dumb tag. Franz Wagner, 5,900. That's pretty dumb too, considering he's back. But Jalen Suggs returning to the universe, 5,600. I'm not going to be going there. That's kind of it for the guard position there. Again, 9 gamer, but we've seen the bottom, like the floor of FanDuel, be not nearly as appealing. Like today, you had so many different Brooklyn guys, most of them in the 4K range here. But even a guy like Ellaby, 3,600. Millsap ended up being the guy 3,500 on FanDuel. But generally speaking, the floor ain't there. Are we going back to some John Conker coming off of this explosion? 15 points, 17 boards, 39.9 over on FanDuel. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I just thought I'd bring him up because, again, it's entertaining that he went as nuts as what he did. Let's head over to Yahoo here, which the 50K everyone wins Friday night special, 10.7% management fee, where they're least for everybody. Sorry about that. I don't know why it beeped. But anyway, Yahoo definitely be playing over there here. Top end of guard. You've got Luka Doncic, $49. DeJounte Murray, $47. Trae Young, $45. Steph Curry, $42. John Morant there at 40. I mean, there's just a number of different spots where we can go. I'm not really sure what I want to be doing here on the top end. Luka under $50 always kind of stands out, but now Steph Curry to $42. If there's going to be no Clay, there's going to be no Gary Payton II. This might be the first time in Chicago coming off of an abysmal game where I go over the field on Steph Curry, because it feels like months since I did that. $42 on Yahoo feels like the place to do it. What say you, Ryan?
Yeah, I like Steph Curry across the board, not just Yahoo. Definitely fine spending up for him. I love Steph Curry compared to Luka Doncic. Significant discount there. John Morant's too expensive when guys like LaMelo Ball are 38, Van Vliet are 39, John Morant is 40. I prefer all of those guys rather than spending up on Yahoo. It's just the nature of that puzzle over there. Now, if you want to spend down, if there's no Jimmy Butler, Lowry or Hero, Lowry checks in at $30. Tyler Hero, I believe, checks in at $29. So both of those guys are fine. Chris Paul and D Book, they've not been as fun with DeAndre Ayton being back in the mix. So you can definitely hop off of those guys. I'm going to spend down a little bit. Jordan Poole's not cheap here. He's $19. So he's not that appealing. I think Bogdanovich, as Atlanta says, peace up to deuces to Cam Reddish. Bye-bye Cam Reddish. More shots for Bogdanovich. And I like $12 Bogdanovich quite a bit. In a matchup against Miami should be fine. I'll be shocked to see Jimmy Butler play. That was a significant ankle injury, and he's just one of those guys who just needs to be ready for the playoffs. And the team's decent enough once Bam Adebayo comes back next week where they should be fine. But Bogdan, $12 is a very exciting play.
Yep, I would agree. No Reddish. That's going to be a thing. Yay, team. I'm winning on FanDuel, so sorry I got distracted. You see that, don't you?
Oh, you're winning the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm with 10 of my friends, it looks like.
Oh.
Split. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have some sweats. I have a lineup that's in 58th right now that has not just Smith Jr., but Ellaby going. Ellaby's 2.5% on FanDuel. I think that's the one that I am now fingers crossed for because Bruce Brown, for some reason on FanDuel, was inexplicably 4.5% at 4,300 in the starting lineup. I'm like 20x the field on that, so that's nifty. We'll see. We'll see how this goes as the show's continuing on. But again, I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, to my favorite place to go play, and that is Yahoo. Check it out. Get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum with this promotion. I talk about it all the time, but for good reason. If you have not had a chance to play at Yahoo yet, if you're playing DraftKings and FanDuel, let me tell you, you're paying 15, 16, 17% rake. That is not ideal. What is ideal is going and playing at Yahoo where they have 10, 11, 12% rake as opposed to that 16, 17. I mean, it's just a huge discrepancy. Over any long sample size, you are going to win more on Yahoo using Awesemo's projections, period, end of story, not even a debate. Get Awesemo Plus Platinum now, 1 free month of it. You'll see why it's so profitable combining the two together. So literally do that. Put the two of them together, play them both together, check it out, deposit $10 or more onto Yahoo, play in any of the paid contests over there. They have great dollar contests. They have great $20 contests for the NFL slate this weekend. I'm telling you right now, you need to be checking out this promotion immediately. It's as simple as it gets. So stop guessing, start winning, and join over at Awesemo Plus today, but through Yahoo, our sponsor. All right, there were like 40,000 stat corrections that just occurred. James Harden was just down to 62.9. Now he's up. Nasir Little is about to break this slate into smithereens. I don't think I have enough of him. That's problematic. He's got 23 already. Man, we are in high alert, high sweat time. But again, we want to focus on this 9-gamer. I'm back, y'all. Let's talk forward over on DK 10-1. Domantas Sabonis. Butler, questionable. If he plays, nobody's appealing for Miami. If he doesn't, you kind of have the same situation where guys are going to look decent. Nobody's going to look phenomenal, but Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry definitely become like guys you can at least talk about there. Jason Tatum, 9,300. We saw him and Jalen Brown really put up a simultaneous ceiling games there, 55.75. Really efficient shooting night. The day after I poo-pooed Jason Tatum and said he was probably one of the most disappointing players in the NBA this season compared to expectation. I think that's a fair assessment. I bet he would even agree with that assessment. I don't think he watches the NBA Slate Starter podcast. Jalen Brown, 9K. DeMar DeRozan in that Golden State game, 8,600. Levine there, $200 less. I think none of those really looked that appealing, but my guy, my dude, Evan Mobley, 7,300. I'm just going to keep riding with this guy. All he does is he just makes me money. So I'm going to just keep playing him. Does that sound fun for you?
Yeah, I think Zion Williamson has been the most disappointing player to expectation this season.
Oh, my God.
Just wanted to let you know. As he rehabs away.
Yeah, Greg Oden was the most disappointing player on Portland this season.
That just didn't work. That didn't work.
Brandon Roy, the most disappointing player on Portland this season.
He's a hell of a high school basketball coach, though. I'll tell you that. But he is. He actually is.
I bet he is. Brandon Roy, I bet he's in the. I mean, he's the Tim Hardaway template, right?
Sorry?
Tim Hardaway went from his like alma mater high school to Memphis, and then he'll have an NBA job, so on and so forth.
Yeah, he also coached like Michael Porter in high school and stuff like that. So I think he's in the Washington area.
Stud.
But spending up, DeRozan 8,600 at Golden State matchup is okay. I don't have the greatest amount of interest. I do think having Tatum and Brown are fine. It helped with no Marcus Smart there. I think those guys got extra ball handling duty. I think if you want to spend down a little bit more, Tobias Harris in that same game, 7,500. He needs to get the shots up alongside Embiid. Now, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be very popular just because of recency bias, maybe at 7,200. He's been priced up, but he's been playing really well. Jaren Jackson at the 5 is the most exciting Triple J, so keep that in mind. There continues to be no Draymond Green over there in Golden State, so they'll be down 3 rotational guys, so things might change up a little bit. We might see extra minutes go to their guys like JTA, Jonathan Kuminga, Nemanja Bjelica. So keep that if you're looking for long shot tournament plays, one of those guys can pan out. I do prefer Kuminga out of all those guys, 3,100. I have no issues going to if you want to take some long shot tournament plays with a 3,100 guy like him. Now, the next year, guys, it's kind of an ugly forward position, and no one really stands out. I think Harrison Barnes in the Houston matchup is fine, 5,500, coming up a really good game. Cam Reddish then out of town means minutes should be solidified for DeAndre Hunter, $3,400. I think that's also a fine consideration to go to. And keep an eye on Scotty Barnes' situation. If there's no Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby in a Detroit matchup, I like even with or without Scotty Barnes. So I think he's fine to go to as well. And you love Evan Mobley, and rightfully so. San Antonio is not a scary matchup anymore. And Mobley has been a stud. He has been an absolute stud of late. And I don't know how far he's separated himself from the Rookie of the Year, from him and Cade and Franz, but it's going to be an exciting rookie of the Year finish, though.
Far. Because he's the only one on a good team. Like, that helps. That doesn't hurt. They're pretty good. They went from very bad team. He showed up very good team. That bodes well.
Yeah, I do think there were multiple reasons why they became very good as well.
Rubio was awesome at the beginning of the season. Yeah. You finally got, at the moment, Sexton and Garland were hot at the beginning of the season.
I think getting 20 off of the bench from Kevin Love has been a game changer.
Totally. He's unreal.
Evan Mobley will be really good for a long time, so we'll see how that ends up going.
All righty, y'all. Let's move it over to FanDuel. Again, we're going to fly here for this Friday. You guys have things. You have plans. You have lives. We don't. We just play fantasy basketball every day and live our lives. That's a pretty great life. Let's be serious. Top end to forward here on FanDuel. Jason Tatum, 9,700. Got Jaylen Brown, 8,900 here. Power forward spot. Domantas Sabonis, 10K. Pascal Siakam up to 9,800. Power forward only. Oh, my. Are we going to do that? I don't know. I can't do that. Jason Tatum, 9,700. Jaren Jackson Jr., my dude, 8,200. Hey, FanDuel figured out how to price somebody up on a lot of these positions. That's very fascinating to me. Jared Allen, 8K. I really like him there. But again, Evan Mobley on a site like FanDuel, I heard stocks are worth 3, and that seems really appealing with a guy like Evan Mobley.
Yeah, that's definitely very appealing to Evan Mobley. And Mobley checks in at 7,500. He's pretty solid. If there's no Jimmy Butler, 7,300 Tyler Hero is fine. 7,800 Tobias Harris. Definitely all these guys are pretty darn solid. If you want to spend up, Jared Allen could pan out for you as well. Tatum and Jason Tatum is up at 9,700. No issues going to him, honestly. The shot volume between him and Jaylen Brown should be 40 plus every game. I think that's pretty darn solid. Another guy who sticks out, I think $7,200 Christian Wood's pretty good as well in a Sacramento matchup. No issues going there if you want to spend down.
Is that all?
No. If you want to spend down, I'm taking a look. I think Scotty Barnes, if he plays 5,600, should be fine. A good matchup. OG Anunoby 6,200 with or without Scotty. Definitely solid play against Detroit. Alfred Shingoon is returning tomorrow. He's 4K. I don't know what the minutes look like for Shingoon, but 4K Shingoon, I'll take my chances in a Sacramento matchup. He can get there in 20 minutes. Marvin Bagley, also 4,400. Played well last game against the Lakers team. But he's not as appealing. I do think Rashawn Holmes will return. If Holmes plays with no minutes limit, because I think he's been in the G League for conditioning, I think he's an exceptional play at $5,800.
And Jeff Green might have just broke the slate because that's what Jeff Green does, apparently. 15-4-2 here in the first half, 72-55 Portland. That's the only game we have going here to pay attention to now. So obviously, you've got my full attention because nothing is going to change here in any of these lineups between now and lock here. Looking down at the bottom of the board here on FanDuel, Jay Crowder, we can go back and take that shot, 4,600 again, playing a lot of minutes. I bet he's somebody that isn't as popular as the massive amount of percentage you saw of him on a DraftKings and FanDuel the other night, just because there weren't a whole lot of cheap pieces of value to be playing. Well, there are cheap pieces of value to be playing on this slate, no doubt about it. 9-gamer, you're bound to have people show up here. I'm not trying to troll Greg Ehrenberg, but like if you get a lot of these guys out from Golden State, Juan Toscano Anderson's 4K over on FanDuel. I'm just throwing it out there. It's just, nope. You just closed your eyes.
That guy, he's on his last strings, dude. That guy should not be in the league. He's had a great story. He had that great story during the
he got paid.
He got JTA got paid. Yeah, he got paid, all that. Great story. Local kid, played professional ball in Mexico. Awesome story from the Bay Area. I think he wears the number 95 because that's the street he grew up in Oakland. So it's a phenomenal story. But this guy is on the last tiers of being in the NBA. He is not a NBA rotational player. I'm shocked that he's getting rotational run, but we shall see.
That wasn't very nice. Top end of forward on Yahoo, our sponsor, Jimmy Butler, 45. Kristaps Porzingis, he's going to be out, so don't even worry about it. Jason Tatum, $42. Domantas Sabonis, $41. DeMar DeRozan, $37. Now it gets interesting. $31 for Miles Bridges and Jaren Jackson Jr. As much as I love Triple J, Miles Bridges, $31. Identical number. I'm going to prioritize that. John Collins down there, $28 with Mobley. I like Mobley a lot. Really kind of a different puzzle to put together here at forward on Yahoo. Once again, if you needed more reasons to be playing over here, there you go. Really different roster construction is what you're kind of looking at here. You've got these Memphis guys on a back-to-back. Steven Adams, if he's continuing to be out, he was supposed to be back today, and obviously he was not. You can maybe take some shots on the Kyle Andersons. Brandon Clark center only on Yahoo, so not even like remotely in play there, but you can try to make some of these guys a thing. Devin Vassell, if Derek White comes back, won't even have to be a consideration at $13. Thank God. Him and Keita Bates-Diop were just abysmal the other night, but looks for me like Jonathan Kuminga, if you end up getting any kind of minutes there, $10 for him could be a fascinating just pay all the way down. There aren't a ton of like great spend ups here. I mean, a $42 Jason Tatum is kind of like the best for me, but what are you looking to do at the forward spot? Just doesn't look that appealing for a 9-game slate on Yahoo.
Yeah, small forward, power forward. I think I'd be willing to definitely spend up. Your boy Evan Mobley, $28. I like that. I think it's a pretty solid price tag. Probably my favorite price tag across all three sites is probably on Yahoo for Mobley. DeRozan, 37 is also pretty rock solid, I think. I do think 40 is a floor for him, and that's a pretty solid floor to have at this position. Spending down a little bit. Sacramento is going to be interesting if Rashawn Holmes does return. It does take away the upside from guys like Chimezie Metu and Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley is the $11 here. Devin Vassell came off the bench last game. I would be interested in him if he starts, or just interested in general at $13. I think is fine to go to him. Other guys, I'll be taking some chances on. I know it's going to sound gross, but Nemanja Bjelica and Kuminga as well. I just think those guys can play 20-plus minutes. I have no issues taking chances on guys like that to potentially spike an upside. Duncan Robinson, $13. I'd like him if there's no Jimmy Butler. You're just looking for potential upside with these guys. It's a very ugly position, like you said. Andrew Wiggins, no Klay Thompson. I like $21 Andrew Wiggins. He's going to be, I think, potentially low owned. and I think he has a good upside against the Chicago team. So I expect the Wiggins to potentially take 14, 15 shot attempts if things go all right for him.
All right, to the center spot on DK we go. Round it out. This will be a nice tight 30, 35 minutes here on the show. We're looking at the top end there. Joel Embiid 11-2. Hey, a slate where Joel Embiid is the standalone center. There's no Cat. There's no Jokic. It's just a lot of Joel Embiid up there. Pascal Siakam, 9,500, the next only center eligible guy. Vooch, price is coming down. Everybody's back together there. He hasn't been that good when everybody's been active there from the Bull side, but most people aren't when you have Ball and DeRozan and Levine. You're not going to have the ball in your hands a whole lot, Vooch. Jared Allen here. We got Bam out, Capel out. Jared Allen, 7,700. DeAndre Ayton, 7,600. I mean, I could just go on and on and on again here, but it has to be said. Okongwu, now center only on DK. 4,800. Just got done, quote unquote. I mean, I don't even call him burning everybody, but he burned everybody, at his sub 4K tag at $20. He's still my favorite center play on this slate. 4,800 Okongwu. Are we going back to the well on a guy that might be lower owned because he was terrible?
I don't know if I'm going to go back to the well with him being priced at his ceiling. I think he's okay. I don't think he's the greatest option there. I'd rather take some chances on guys priced similar to him. I don't mind going to Isaiah Stewart. I don't mind going to PJ Washington. Just looking for pivots if he's going to be popular. Rashawn Holmes if he plays.
Hunter did play 24 minutes right out of the gate, so that doesn't exactly help because they can play small ball with Collins at the 5.
Yeah, and John Collins is wants out of Atlanta. He's been extremely upset with his role there as well. So this Atlanta team, when it goes to the conference finals, might just blow things up. Who knows? I have no idea what the hell's happening.
They should. They're not that good.
Yeah. They're not that good. They're a young, exciting team. I thought Cam Reddish, they just gave him away. He's very talented. Very, very talented, Cam Reddish. If he hits his ceiling in terms of NBA, upside, he is could be Paul George 2.0. That's how high I think of Cam Reddish.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's very talented. That's why
that is a big statement.
I said if he hits his upside, and
okay. TBD on that one.
This just might lure Zion to the Mecca. So I mean, this might just reunite all the Duke guys over there. Should be exciting to see, but I'm kind of not that interested in Onyeka Okongwu. Spending it for Embiid and 11-2, I'm all for it. I don't mind going to Vooch, honestly. 8,700. If you want to attack Golden State through the interior, and with no Draymond Green there, I think Vooch could be a sneaky low-owned option. Other guys who are going to be low-owned with significant upside, there's not that many. I think DeAndre Ayton always has upside within him, but it's going to be a super low-owned play. Other guys, I mean, if you want to spend down, I don't mind it just because it's the only opportunity cost is Embiid, and it's a Boston matchup where Al Horford does contain Embiid pretty well throughout his career, but there are times where Embiid just eviscerates him. He's the only opportunity cost, so if you find a unique roster build without him, I wouldn't fault you.
Do you think Doc Rivers goes back to the double center lineup that he had there in the fourth quarter when they were getting blown up?
I saw that. I don't know. Doc Rivers also a trash head coach. I don't know.
Yes, the best take. The best take is Doc Rivers is overrated.
Head coach of the last 15 years.
Best assistants he had underneath him for a long time. I think that hid a lot of his faults.
No, he just happened to get lucky with Danny Ainge just striking a gold mine train. Yeah. And if he doesn't do that, he's irrelevant. He's not that. He's never been that good. It was
all 1 year. It was 1 year.
Yeah, and then he happened to get traded for a first-round pick, which is insane. Insane. He's not that good. He's honestly pretty damn trash.
Yeah. I will say those Clippers teams were electric, and
yeah,
Chris Paul. I think we should establish that Chris Paul will make any head coach look good.
No, he blew the game in Game 6 against the Rockets.
He did.
He literally
had that Corey
Brewer and Josh Smith lay it down on his face and slap it around. It's just
and not only that, James Harden got benched in that game by Kevin McHale.
Yes, because their team went insane.
was one of the wilder games I can ever remember attending. I went to a lot of Clippers playoff games, sat in the nosebleeds with my friend Econ. You know my boy Econ from the bachelor party days, my Chinese friend who just loves all things sports. And he's always like the craftiest guy to bring along to things. One, he'll eat more food than anybody you've ever seen eat in your entire life. Popcorn, hot dogs. It's just entertaining to watch a 150-pound guy eat as much as what he's capable of eating. But secondly, he can maneuver his way into like courtside seats immediately. We moved down from like 300 section to like 100 section every game of the Clippers playoff season for like all of those dynamic Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Lob City teams alongside Chris Paul. It was just so epic.
Yeah, that was just insane, that run. But yeah, he's trash head coach. I don't know. He's the reason why Ben Simmons doesn't want to come back. And like,
it's fair.
Honestly, back to the center position on FanDuel.
Now to the center position on FanDuel. Go ahead, talk to me. Yeah, talk to me about your favorites over there. We covered DK. Shingoon is interesting. He plays a minute of basketball. So
I really like Embiid here, 10-7.
Me too.
I think that's pretty strong price tag when you can only roster one. Strike that upside there. If you don't like him, there's a flurry of mid-tier guys. Christian Wood, Evan Mobley, DeAndre Ayton's only 7K. That's pretty rock solid. Unfortunately, the year 7 days are over with.
So sad. Deadman back.
He was great from riding from 3,500 all the way to 6,500. Pretty amazing the run he had. Spending down a little bit. Kongo's 3,900. I think that's fine if you want to take some chances yet again. Keep in mind, it's not as appealing with all these guys back, healthy. The usage isn't there, but 3,900 is 3,900. Does open up studs elsewhere.
I think the chalk of the position, barring Mo Bamba being ruled out, because we would need him to get ruled out as well. He's questionable. Would be Robin Lopez. I think everybody's going to go right back to the well, 4,700. He was so popular on FanDuel and DraftKings compared to what I thought. He was like 30% everywhere, and he smashed. I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do it. But I will say one of my biggest reasons is that I thought he had a pretty wide range of outcomes for what those minutes could look like. I thought he could play anywhere from 22 to 32. I believe that was my exact quote on Live Before Lock. Well, he played 31, so that was problematic for me.
Yeah, it's been impressive what he's done when he's playing 30-plus minutes. He's never been like this. It's like I'm like shocked to see the numbers that he puts up when he's getting these minutes. I'm pretty blown away by it.
Prepare. Robin Lopez chalk day is fast approaching.
I got to send him a mascot to knock on his hotel room, but outside of that, I don't want to talk about Robin Lopez anymore.
Okay, to the top end we go. Joel Embiid. He's Brooke Lopez, most disappointing player in 2021, 2022.
Oh, that's just being mean. He actually is getting surgery on his back. And
I know. But I mean, if you're going to be a dick about the other guys, I'm going to be a dick about Brooke Lopez. Here we go.
I was not being a dick. I just was trying to make a joke. And Zion Williamson chose to go to the buffet. All right. He chose to go to the buffet in New Orleans.
That's right. I get kicked around by Greg Ehrenberg every Live Before Lock now. It's just like I have to kick around a little bit of Ryan, even though you're a top 10 player in the world and there's really no kicking you whatsoever. Joel Embiid, $50. Pascal Siakam, $38. Big discrepancy between those two tags. Joel Embiid, though, is $50. I think he's a priority for me in just about every capacity. Jared Allen, 30, 28 for DeAndre Ayton, and 27 Christian Wood. Christian Wood smashed City the other night, and we could be looking at that going forward here against Sacramento, who may or may not have a front court tomorrow. Who knows? I have no idea. I really don't care. Dwayne Dedmon, nope. Not going to be in the rotation in a meaningful way because Yard 7 has established himself as the next guy behind, he's just the priority there, but won't be rostering him. For me, Okongwu, $15. That looks fun. Robin Lopez, $13 is going to be the chalk. I'm going to find that $2 to get to Okongwu and figure that out. Rest of the position looks garbage underneath it at the $10 slot. I don't see anybody I'd roster there. Talk to me about your favorites on Yahoo to round this out.
Yeah, I like spending it for Embiid. $50 is fine. The next guy who sticks out at his price tag, I think, a $30 Jared Allen's pretty exciting. I have no issues going there. Christian Wood, 27. Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl is going to be needed to body those guys up, 24. So I do think those minutes can be in the high 30s potentially. So, and I like that $24 price tag for him. Now, we haven't seen a I do think Siakam also has center eligibility at 38.
Yep.
It's a Detroit matchup. People just eat against Detroit. I mean, he should be pretty low owned, and I do think the upside of 50 plus is there for Siakam in this matchup. Next year, guys, Okongwu's too expensive. I think now $15. Too many bodies, just like taking away usage and all things put together. I don't mind Kevin Love at $18. It's gonna. I know he's gonna need to like shoot lights out, but $18 for Kevin Love, who can put up 30 in those 24 minutes, I don't mind it. I do think you can sprinkle something in. And if there's continues to be no Steven Adams, Brandon Clark has been pretty solid. $18 is another guy sub 20. Outside of that, Holmes also finds a way there, but keep an eye. There's a lot of front court bodies there in Sacramento. And Holmes wasn't playing 30 plus minutes before he got hurt. Now that I dug into it more, so just proceed with caution. But Holmes has a huge upside against Houston, even in like 28 minutes of play.
That's kind of I'm saying I don't know who's going to be there in that front court, but I just know that they're all uncomfortable rosters, but all gettable against Houston. Christian Wood should be able to do anything he wants against Holmes in the Sacramento front court. Be paying attention to that. Think that could be some interesting late night hammer value for sure. Ryan, another week of the NBA Slate Starter in the books. This was a fun one. I think I was spicier than most weeks. So thank you for hanging with me and dealing with me as I'm ornery and tired here sometimes. You get these long nights going in. PGA's back in store. That's adding a lot more research to the old plate. But I'm loving it. Life's great. Ryan, any final words for the people as we get out of here?
Yeah, it's Super Wild Card Weekend, Awesemo.com/promos. Take advantage of our Super Wild promo. $1 NFL Express. Don't miss out. So many big prize pools across the board. Quick rundown. Who do you think wins this weekend? I have the Raiders beating the Bengals, and the Bills beating the Pats, and then the Chiefs beating the Steelers, and I think the Cardinals pulled the upset off.
Let me pull this up here. Now I got to look at it. You think the Cardinals beat the Rams? That's Monday night here. Let's do this. I'm going to go Cincinnati. Again, these are all straight up. These are not spread. Yeah. Cincinnati, Buffalo. I think the home teams take it down on Saturday. I think Tampa Bay plays a close one, but ends up pulling it out against Philadelphia. I'm going to go San Francisco against Dallas. Even though I've been in love with Dallas, I bet Dallas, but I still am starting to like question everything. It was more of just like, I think that they have a nice path. That line has gone up another half point, but I think San Francisco, I've just been undervaluing this team all year long, and I'm already invested in Dallas. So I'll pick San Francisco here in this one. As you know, I already
that's a great matchup for a Super Wild Card weekends at Dallas, San Francisco. Both teams can definitely, one of those teams could easily win the Super Bowl. But
highest total on the board too, and both have players on both sides that are just difference makers. So it's going to be a fascinating game. And then Kansas City just murders Pittsburgh. I really don't know what else to say. I think the Rams pull it out. It's going to be a close one against Arizona. Yeah. I think it's going to be a close one. So I'm picking one road team, San Francisco, otherwise all home teams. So that'll be
Dallas,
me.
San Francisco for me is like a coin flip. I got it. I got to roll with, I think I'll go with Dallas just because the home team. San Francisco weak secondary, and those Cowboys receivers should be able to light them up. But the Raiders will shock people and take down the Bengals.
Ooh. Whoa, I don't mind it. I mean, it seems like a team. We're not going to even get into that. Team of destiny. That's a weird thing to say because everything's been bad from the Raiders side. But Ryan, it's been a fantastic week. You just said, I said any final words for the people. But yes, use that Super Wild. That's the promo.
Yeah, just go to Awesemo.com/promos. Super Wild will be there because it's the Super Wild promo.
All right. He's Rayen Patnaik. He's awesome. I'm Eric. I work at Awesemo. We'll see you later.